What is up, Mountaineer fans? My name is Mountaineer Paul. You've landed yourself here to get another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. I'd like to welcome you to this episode, this live stream of what is now a happy day. One of my favorite players of the 2025 class is now a West Virginia Mountaineer. We're going to dive headlong straight into that in just a minute. But we're going to talk sponsors first, of course. We can't forget that. Have to remember that. Pays the bills, like Jordan said last night. So give me a few minutes and we'll jump in. This episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive. Friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com, or you can come in today to the home of friends and family pricing only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. And today's video is sponsored by Magic Shine Auto Spa and Tint in Morgantown, West Virginia. At Magic Shine, your vehicle's care is their top priority. They use only the highest quality products to ensure your car not only looks its best, but is also protected and maintained with the utmost care. From window tinting with top-of-the-line Max Pro Tint to protective ceramic coatings from Diamond Pro Tech, they've got you covered. Drive in today and experience the difference at Magic Shine Auto Spa and Tint, where your car shines like new. Shine on Morgantown. So the Dutch Miller thing, if you guys are probably wondering about that. Oh, actually, there's a question there. No, Timothy, they're not sponsoring me still. So the way sponsorships works in the YouTube space, you try to get paid up front a month ahead of time. It's just safe for you, being the person taking the risk on putting somebody's banner up, using your space. The first 30 seconds or minute and a half of this video was sponsorships, right? You can lose people in that amount of time. So I always try to say and use that to leverage up front. So what happened was somebody told me that I actually owed them another month because they paid me a month ahead. So, I have to keep going with it because I'm a man of my word. So I have to do what I say I'm going to do, or what else do I got? And Sean really helped me come to that conclusion because I was about to drop it because I was upset over the way things happened. And I almost didn't do it last month. And, talking to Sean and stuff, man, he really helped me see that I need to be a man of my word. Just because they dropped me with no warning doesn't mean I can do the same, right? So that's pretty much where the deal is, Timothy. You guys know I don't hide nothing from you guys as much as I can. All right, so we've had a big day, right? Let's get over here to this article here I wrote just real quick. You guys like my new background? I've been messing with it. I need to fill out that little side over here some. I get that. I got a new blanket on my chair, just different stuff. Just trying to fool around with it and see what looks best. I'd like to fill the whole wall up behind me if I can, but, So let's get this pulled up really quick. And we're going to get into some highlights on this episode, and I'll break down some tape. So four-star running back DeAndre Desinor commits to West Virginia. West Virginia hosted Desinor for a visit over the weekend, which followed an earlier visit in February, where he said, "I had a great time when I was up there for Junior Day on February 3rd. Desinor, who told On 3 in March, "They have shown me they want me, and they're recruiting me hard. I loved it up there. My favorite part of the visit was watching film with Chad Scott. He's developed CJ and Jaheim, and how he coached them and used them really caught my eye. He's a great coach. The comfort I felt on the visit and their intense recruitment of effort they put in are number one on my list. Desinor, an explosive back with elite speed, is expected to be a dynamic addition to West Virginia's offensive arsenal. He is also likely to contribute significantly in the kick and punt return game, showcasing his versatility. This is an absolute fabulous get by Neal Brown and his staff. Desinor is the nation's 259th overall prospect, number 18 running back, and number 38 recruit in Florida, which is really good. Florida has of the top 300, they've got 100 of the best, right, if not more. Desinor is the 8th recruit to commit to Neal Brown's 2025 cycle. He joins Olney, Maryland, gun cancel 3-star interior offensive lineman Gavin Crawford and Mentor, Ohio, 3-star quarterback Scotty Fox at the top of the class. Keep checking in with WVUinsiders.com for more updates on this exciting commitment and other West Virginia recruiting news. So, to your question, Timothy, is he good? Yes, he's extremely good. He's one of the best backs I've seen probably in a West Virginia recruiting cycle. Jaheim was different because I thought he was going to be really good as a receiving back, third down back. I did not expect him to be as good on his first and second down in the Big 12 as he was last year. And I still want to see it again over this year when people have some tape on him. Jaheim was a little bit different. I honestly didn't think he was going to be as good as he was. And he's not that I didn't think he would never be, just not in year one especially. This kid here is he's going to do something for us right away, whether it's in the return game, whether that's on the field. Let's get to some tape, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. Let me get this shared really quick. All right. So I hope I don't get copyright flagged for this. This is Max Preps.
Get into our locked car. See?
Yeah, but where's the fun of that? Maybe I'm just nostalgic for the good old
days.
Before we had Geico's great coverage and 24/7 help.
All set, guys.
Let's go again.
Whatever you need, from coverage to service, get Geico.
All right. Here he's in the return game. You'll see some of that speed right here on the very first play. This is in Florida, mind you. See how he breaks through that kicker. He didn't even try, did he? Really nice house call in the first play. And then, I like that he put his special team stuff on tape first. Sometimes that can get lost in the shuffle. Look at that move right there. Hold on. We'll just break it down a little bit frame by frame. So first of all, this is not great. This is not what you would consider a wall of protection. I mean, look how they're already in his zone with two other guys, but they they came to the wrong side of the field. These guys are a little bit further behind than they probably should be, about 5 yards, and they should really be on this covering this side of the field. But that's how it is. A lot of times with these really good backs, they have good vision. They will use angles against you, and this is what he did here. So the first thing he does is makes that first move, and then you can see he sets this guy up right here. Looks like he's going to attack the middle. He makes that one cut. This guy's his feet are already crossed. So he makes the one cut, gone. Boom. There he is. That's a beautiful move at the middle. Holy cow. So if you see what I'm talking about with this guy's elusiveness, this is the kind of guy that you can line up in the slot. You can throw him a screen and do a tunnel screen, and he's going to make plays. He's going to make the first guy miss just like this. Boop. By number 5. There's a reason he's a 4-star player. Here he is on the wide zone. So he's got really great blocking, first of all, except for this. He does have a little pressure, but it doesn't matter on these wide ones. But look at the edge. There is no edge, right? So this he's supposed to set the edge. It's not there. So, he's got a lot of running room here, but still you showcases a lot of his ability. See how he beats guys? He beats angles. This guy had the angle, right? He should have had the angle. This guy right here should have had the angle. But he's physical at the point of attack. I mean, that's just straight up speed. There he is under the eye. And look at that move he puts on. See, he's got these really subtle moves. Boop. So he just put his foot in the ground. This guy's already committed. He's done. And then he's able to get his physically impose his will into the end zone. Here he is again. They're running something similar to what Holgerson used to run. Really, really nice run there. I like these. I like seeing where that was pretty. Really good vision by him, right? But a lot of these are just flat out. His speed is just better than their speed. He's got to be in the 4.4 range, and that's really good for a running back. But what I love about his game is that right there. That's what I love about his game. It's something you got to have in elite players. Elite players can make moves running at full speed, and that's what this guy does at full speed. Look in the hole, juke, and that's when you know you've got somebody special when they can do that. Here he is swung out, but that's just plain speed. You can't teach that. It's just I'm honestly really I'm obviously ecstatic we got this kid. But, I mean, sometimes these holes are huge. I'm not going to lie. But look how fast he is. I do think, he's going to contribute as a freshman. I would be shocked if he didn't. Getting great blocks. They probably had a good team. Honestly, haven't looked at it. So he's got some patience. Maybe a little bit more would have served him better, but like here, watch. So that first block, now this guy's bearing down on him. What does he do? He lets another block develop, right? And he springs for more. Right here. Wow. Really impressive. Really impressive. I love that. He just turns on the speed right at the right moment, right? And yeah, he picked us over. He had late offers from Alabama. Florida State wanted him. I mean, let me go back to his X page really quick. Sorry about that, guys. I meant to do a little more on it. All right. Oops. All right. Let me pull his stuff back up. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Got it. All right. So on his X page here, I love how he has, his heading here. Pretty cool. Delray Beach, Florida. Here's the commit. Hayes Fawcett, breaking 4-star running back DeAndre Desor is committed to West Virginia. He tells me for on-3 recruits, 5'10", 185 from Delray Beach. Chose West Virginia over Colorado, Louisville, and Oregon. I don't feel as if there's any other place where I can be developed. So this is really a Chad Scott thing, right? And I love whoever made this graphic. Beautiful graphic. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Looks like Hayes Fawcett did. That's one heck of a graphic. I would love to be able to make graphics like that. So he's got pictures of him. Well, let me see if I can find it. So here's mostly here's his offers, though. You've got Florida, UCF, Syracuse, Maryland, Florida State, Texas, Iowa, Michigan, Penn State. When you're rated as highly as this guy, you can go where you want. But, I mean, it's about playing time at a certain point, right? But interesting. Culture wins. But I love this picture too. Holding the state of West Virginia with the gray and the yellow. Love that. So there it is. Here he is at Florida State on January 7th, guys. So this is what I'm saying. This kid probably would have, I mean, he could have stayed in his backyard at Florida State and still chose West Virginia. You know why? Because of Chad Scott. This has everything to do with Chad Scott being an elite recruiter and an elite developer of talent. In my opinion, he is the most important support staff coach we've had in a long time. He's going to be a head coach someday. It's inevitable for him. He's too good. And so whoever gets him is going to get a stud. Thankfully, he's still learning some offensive coordinator because I think, he's still learning that position. But to be honest, he's ready for a head coaching job, in my opinion. He's been around Neal long enough. That's just my opinion. After this year. But nobody gets more out of his running back room than Chad Scott. And this kid is no different. But, so I like what WV Van 23 said. He's table on part 2. I wouldn't give him that much credit, but this Desinor kid is elite as a running back coming out of high school. 5'10", 185 is right to just perfect height, I think, for a running back like him. And, he's got so much mobility. I mean, he really does it all. I'm guessing that's him right there. I looked him up. He had stuff from like 5-6 years ago when he was in 8th grade that I found. He was killing guys in 8th grade. Let's see if we can. I was hoping there's some more media on here, just some clips. See if we can find any good ones. Looks like not much. There he's at Louisville, Ole Miss. I mean, you can see all these tags he's got on there. What's this here?
First call, 16, yes, 1600.
There he is.
First call, pole vault.
I think he won that.
First call,
See that one more time.
1600. First call, pole vault. First call,
There he is right there.
16. First call, pole vault.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So obviously we got a good player here, guys. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I think he'll make an immediate contribution to the running back room because I think the staff, you have to figure we're going to lose Jaheim or CJ next year, right? Whether that be to another team or what have you. I just don't. Maybe we keep them both and I'll be super happy. But you still need 3. But you got to figure we're going to lose one or the other. Probably we're going to pay for Jaheim. Or whoever has the better season this year, you probably pay. But, I mean, as of right now, the favorite is Jaheim White. So just hypothetically, let's say we pay Jaheim. CJ probably wants to go be the back, the number one guy somewhere else. And now you've replenished your running back room with a guy that's extremely talented. I mean, you got to feel really good with DeAndre Desor coming in next year at the running back room. And the guys that signed this year are both extremely talented as well. You got some other news today as well, guys. If you want to talk about it, I mean, I know this is a recruiting video, but what about Pat McAfee today and the news that he has set ablaze with this whole Caitlin Clark deal and all that? It's just been one drama out of another with it. People trying to cancel our boy. I agree that he should not have said the word that he did, but it's just good practice not to call women that. But it says 5'10", 185. He could be smaller. It's hard to say but I mean, all we've got to go off of is what he's billed as, Russell. Yeah, we were wrong. They were wrong about that. Patch based. Yeah, he killed him today. He's trending right now. So pretty wild, man. But thank you everybody for on X that are following along here. It says there are 52 you guys over on X. So appreciate you guys for joining in. As always, you guys are my peeps. Everybody here on YouTube, you know I love you. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I wrote an article on it today. Let's see. Let me get over here to it. It's about Andy Staples and that crew picking West Virginia, right? Do you guys care if we talk about that for a minute? I'm excited about this. I don't know about you guys, but I did a video on it earlier, but screw it. Let's talk about it again. If you want to check out my video on this very topic with Andy Staples picking West Virginia to win the Big 12, just click out of here and go back one. There it is. Breaking news. And that's actually, to be honest, I misquoted this a little bit because Andy Staples really picked us to have a good year. But it was actually the guy he was on the show with that picked us to win. But either way, it was on the Andy Staples show. It's not really that big of a deal. Andy Staples picks WVU to win the Big 12, predicts major accolades for Neal Brown and Jaheim White. In a stunning preseason prediction on threes, Andy Staples has picked West Virginia to win in the Big 12 and conference this season. Staples, a respected voice in college football analysis, has placed his confidence in head coach Neal Brown and the Mountaineers, highlighting a remarkable turnaround in significant individual performances. Neal Brown he had an impressive turnaround. Staples commended Neal Brown for his exceptional coaching over past season, emphasizing that Brown has successfully coached himself out of the hot seat. Brown's journey with WVU has not been without its challenges, but his perseverance and strategic adjustments have started to pay off. Staples noted Brown's character, describing him as a good guy, which further underscores his ability to rally the team and the community around a common goal. Garrett Green's untapped potential was another topic of discussion. One of the key factors in WVU's projected success is quarterback Garrett Green. Staples believes, I lost my place, that Green has only barely scratched the surface of his potential. Last year, Green's performance was pivotal, but it was the narrow loss to Houston on a last-second Hail Mary that kept the Mountaineers from reaching double-digit wins. Garrett Green threw his helmet, with Green expected to build on his experience and to display even more of his talent. Staples anticipates a breakout season for the young quarterback. Jaheim White, Player of the Year contender. Perhaps the most exciting prediction from Staples is his pick of Jaheim White as the Big 12 Player of the Year. His dynamic abilities and consistency make him a standout player in the conference. And Staples' confidence in White's potential to dominate on the field is a testament to his hard work and dedication, and the running back has shown. If White lives up to this prediction, he will not only elevate his own status, but significantly contribute to the success of the Mountaineers. So, looking ahead, as the season approaches, the anticipation among WV fans is palpable. With Andy Staples' optimistic projections, there's a renewed sense of excitement and hope. Neal Brown's leadership, Garrett Green's growth, and Jaheim White's explosive potential form a compelling narrative for a successful season. Stay tuned to West Virginia Insiders for more updates, insights, and coverage as we follow the Mountaineers' journey through what promises to be a thrilling Big 12 season, and one I think is going to be the most exciting yet with the new additions and bye-bye to Texas and Oklahoma. So I'm stoked about it, y'all. I really am. And over here on X, we can see Andy Staples. We'll check out his podcast where he actually talked about it. And I'm just going to go to a random spot in the podcast. Let's see. Let's get over here. Let's see. Oh, that's me. Let's see. I don't know how far down it is now that it's been a little bit. I think it's past that. Okay. Well, May have overshot it. Nope, there it is. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward to the part to where he mentioned West Virginia. So just give me just a minute, guys, and I'll play the sound.
So he has been the head coach.
If you guys want to watch a minute of this, we can.
Even from last getting off the basically, coaching his way off the hot seat. I thought he did a tremendous job last season. The way they've reorganized their collective, like they didn't lose anybody between 22 and 23 that they cared about keeping. Same thing this year. They've got everybody back they want to keep. This is a fun group. This is a fun team to watch.
And if you look at Neal Brown's time at Troy, too, like it seemed like last year kind of fell in line with what happened to him the year before. They blew up and won 10 games in back-to-back seasons at Troy. So it just feels like things are starting to fall into place. Like it felt like Neal Brown was just a guy kind of patrolling the sidelines for his first few years at West Virginia. Now it feels like this is Neal Brown's program. And, we heard – so he came out of spring practice and he said offensive line is going to be a strength. And it was like you just lost Zach Frazier – who's one of the best centers in college football last year. You just lost Doug Nestor as a great offensive line. What do you mean it's going to be a strength of this team? I love the confidence that he has, that he does have some dudes back in the offensive line. There's no doubt about that. So the reason I'm picking West Virginia to win the conference is I think they're as good up front on both lines of scrimmage as anybody. And I think they've got the best quarterback, arguably, of the conference in Garrett Green, who just scratched the surface on his potential last year. I mean, he had some fantastic games. He did have some weird ones. The end of the Houston game was unbelievable where they lost Houston.
Yeah, that was a very strange game. Yeah.
But I'm really high on Garrett Green. I'm really high on their offensive and defensive lines. And we've heard all of the right things Morgantown this offseason, and I like their schedule too.
How about, so Garrett Green also dual threat, averaged 6 yards a carry last year. He runs really well. Jaheim White averaged 7.7 yards a carry. Now, CJ Donaldson is the big back, is the kind of the bruiser, but Jaheim White's the one who should really scare you.
Agreed. In fact, I'm probably going to pick him to be the player of the year in the Big 12 because it's usually a guy that comes from out of nowhere. I mean, obviously, Ollie Gordon came kind of out of nowhere last year and could very much emerge this year. But, yeah, the way that he ran and then how we've heard him discussed throughout this offseason, he's going to be the guy. He's going to get the carries. Now, they still have, to your point, they still have other mouths to feed with Donaldson and whatnot, but I just think White is going to be so good. Yeah, he's going to be so good. I think they found some things at the end of the year with White and Garrett Green that they really like.
I'm so excited that you said, I don't think their ceiling is as high as you do. I think their ceiling is probably 9 or 10 wins. But
so obviously extremely high praise there, guys. And I know I let it play for a while. I hope I don't get copyright stricken. I don't know how any of this works when it comes to that. I know with YouTube it can. I don't know about on the X things. I mean, I've been doing it. To me, it's like it should be fair use because I'm reacting to it. But you never know. Either way, I don't care. I'm excited about that prediction. It's exciting, guys, because it's important that the narrative around West Virginia's football especially starts to change out there, away from us. I can sit here all day and predict that we go to the conference title game, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody, right? But Andy Staples does. And the next thing you know, Phil Steele is. And the next thing you know, Skip Bayless might notice this. And the next thing you know, XYZ go on down the line. We need the narrative around West Virginia football to change for us to stay relevant in this era, guys. And this is the most important season, and I'm not exaggerating, in our program's history. College football realignment has reshaped everything we know and love about college sports. Everybody knows that. Going forward, we have to be winners. We have to be. You got to turn it around now. We can't wait anymore. We're on borrowed time, maybe 3 or 4 more years if we're lucky, the way things are before there's another huge shift. So let's get 2 or 3 titles in there. Let's get 2 or 3 conference championship games in at least, right? Let's make West Virginia football a popular brand nationally again, right? There was a time back in 08, 07 where kids were growing up in other places in the country, similar to people in the early 90s with Florida, right? I had a buddy from West Virginia that huge Florida Gators fan. Why? Because they were really good with Danny Warfel in 92, 93. He is not from Florida. Same thing with West Virginia. We were really good 06, 05, 07. And people around the country noticed that. We had a lot of fans outside the state of West Virginia because of that. We need that to happen again. We need that to happen again. Why? It's not that I care about anybody else. I don't care if you give a shit. I wear that West Virginia on my chest for a reason. But for the benefit of the program, it's got to get better. You know why Coleman Hawkins in West Virginia is a Mountaineer out of the transfer portal? Because of the stigmas that surround West Virginia. They think we're country. They think we're bum-effed. They think that we are sister effers. They think we are out in the middle of nowhere. You know, and these stigmas are one of the reasons we walk around with such chips on our shoulder, right? We're always waiting for that cousin effer joke, or we're always waiting on the next toothless wonder joke, whatever you want to call it. Why did they call it a toothbrush? Because it was invented in West Virginia. Like, you know, you hear them all the time, especially from that team just an hour away from us. So, point all being that we just, you know, I really feel like that winning changes a lot of that narrative. And people could care less who you're screwing if you're winning, right? So that's what we want for this state, for this program, and for the players, and for us fans that just live, breathe, and die all over this, right? Or at least I do, you know. I mean, I basically centered my entire life around it now. It's what I eat, sleep, drink, go to bed with, wake up to, and love it every second of it. So hopefully that's why you guys come around. I hope my passion shows and that you guys see that, because that's what keeps me going. Don't forget to like the video, guys. As always, like I said, it makes me really happy when you guys acknowledge my videos through the likes. Also, when YouTube actually does notice it and pushes it out. Subscribe to the channel. We're like, when I tell you we are, somebody that's watching can tell me, but I'm like probably 50 people away from 2,000. And it's getting frustrating, man. I've been waiting forever to hit that number. It's not a huge number either, you know. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel about the topics we've discussed. The new commit, DeAndre Desinor, huge commit for West Virginia football. What about what Pat McAfee said with Caitlin Clark? Or how about what Andy Staples said with the championship contenders deal? Do you feel like we're championship contenders? I would like to know. Somebody's outside beeping at somebody around my house. Other than that, guys, not a whole lot else to talk about. Hopefully it's not somebody who's here for me. Let me make sure. Somebody's at my door, guys. Give me 30 seconds here. I didn't know somebody was going to show up at my house. This is wild. Hold on one second. All right. Well, I'm surprised you guys stuck around, to be honest. I figured I'd come back and there'd be like 3 people in here. Have mercy. It's the YouTube police. Run. No, actually, I left my prescription medicine at a friend's house. I went over and played some video games the other day, and his grandma, she's like 90, just dropped him off to me. So I looked outside and saw it was her car, and I'm like, oh man, I can't make her walk up here. So Did you say I was going to jail? Is that what you meant? Or the one before that? That one, Timothy? I believe he said, I think we can win the Big 12 with a little bit of luck and staying healthy. We're going to need a lot of bit of luck. I like what you said, Krista. Magical season if we can beat Penn State. I 100% agree with that. And, you know, it's going to be the measuring stick for West Virginia. But I have a video planned, but it's going to have a hard time not talking about it now. It's going to be the measuring stick for the conference, guys. Right? UC up in Florida, West Virginia, Penn State, Colorado, Nebraska, all huge games on the slate. In a conference that's fighting for – sorry, y'all. In a conference that's fighting for turn this all the way down. All right. In a conference that's fighting for respect. You know, we need respect. And without it, we're not going to get much, right? I mean, thankfully, we're bought into basically the championship game in the playoff. But how long is that going to last, you know? So we need to win these games, especially non-con. What's up, Drizzy? Also, do you think Garrett Green has a slump season? Will we still get by? No, we so you asked a couple questions here about basketball. I do have a basketball show that's separate from this, Drizzy. It's called Hoops from the Hills. Well, I've got you all here, and I'll answer these questions in a second, Drizzy. Need you to do 3 things for me if you want a Garrett Green signed helmet, now that I'm thinking of it. Get over to westvirginiainsiders.com, and I might as well just show you where it's at really quick and I will answer your questions as soon as I'm done, Drizzy. But right here, westvirginiainsiders.com. So what I want you to do is go over to forums, or actually go to Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, click on Hoops from the Hills, which is right here. This is my basketball channel. I go live on here quite often. Last night we interviewed Toby O'Connie, the new West Virginia wing shooting player. So that's the football channel. That's the basketball channel. You're on the football channel. And then the only thing left for you to do is to go over here to forums and sign up for the forum, right? Right here under general. And go to Eat Shit Giveaway, Eat Shit Pit post here. Okay. Once you do that, you will be entered into a free drawing to get a helmet signed by Garrett Green. Pretty good deal. That's all you got to do. But the reason I say go to the website is because it's all able to be accessed from the website. So, you know, instead of having to go to YouTube and look for both channels, you can just do it straight from the website, and you can get a free Garrett Green signed helmet, but you got to be subscribed to all 3 basically. Thank you for the compliment. So on your basketball question, Drizzy, the dead period just ended, right? So there's not a lot of intel out there as of right now that I can talk about. There's some stuff out there, but I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. I'll have more on that later in the week. Check in the Hoops in the Hills. I'll be going live tomorrow. Hopefully I've got some stuff by then. Because other than that, there's not a whole lot, Drizzy. As far as your other question about Garrett Green, if he has a slump season, will we still get by? If he has a slump season, I honestly think Nico Marco will probably take over at some point. Like, Garrett has a leash, but it's not super long. Like, he had a great year last year, and he had a good year passing. But this team is so ready to win now with what we have that we could not stand for a quarterback to not play well, right? And from all intents and purposes, like, okay, if this was last year and Nico played like he did, it would have been a much harder decision for them to start Garrett over Nico, is what I'm being told. Nico has played neck and neck with Garrett all offseason long. And that's not me just saying that at all. So I think we'll be fine either way. I think Garrett raises the ceiling on this team because it's built around what he does so well, running, and the spontaneity of the offense. But I understand it's going to be a big focus. So, and the deep and throwing it deep, right? That's why they went and got these huge big receivers in the portal. Genros, the tight end out of the portal, 6'7" tight end. They're all because Garrett Green can throw it down the field. Nico was, if they were building the team around him, they wouldn't have made the same, I don't think, exact, these players Nico can certainly play with, but Nico is a better passer, right, at this moment in time, especially in 15 yards or in. So I think you have to factor in the kind of players needed for that. You'd have to have really good route runners, guys that get to a certain spot. These guys are guys you just throw it up to. Jaden Bray, 6'4", Traylon Ray's like 6'3", 6'4". Huddy Tuddy's not a huge guy, but he does go vertical. And so we don't have a whole lot of guys that can work the middle outside of Cole Taylor. So it'll be interesting to see, but I do think we can win some games if Garrett slumps. But it'd be about like last year, eight wins, something like that, because to be honest, Garrett went to a slump last year, didn't he? Think about the Oklahoma game, right? Like he had some slumpy kind of games, passing-wise especially. The Penn State game comes to mind, where the defense basically carried us for the first 2 or 3 games. And he also got beat up. So you guys are talking about food in the chat, not letting me know about it. If Nico is playing that closely to GG, is there any chance GG could have some creeping thoughts about losing a spot versus focusing on being? No, not at all. Not from what I understand. I mean, he's being treated right as the guy. So no worries there. But if he starts to play bad, then maybe you've got something, Markets. But if he plays well, Garrett or Nico will get some packages here and there, but I truly do think it's Garrett's team and they're treating it as such. And even Nico knows that, right? Nico knows next year is his year. So, and honestly, Nico needed the time. I didn't think he would based off high school because they put so much on his shoulders in high school, but he has needed the time to develop. Timothy Green, I think Garrett Green has his best year as a West Virginia quarterback. Very interesting. He's got a shot to for sure. Now, last year, he had a top 10. I've said this multiple times now, but I think it needs to be said again. Garrett Green had a top 10 all-time rushing season last year in history. That's what he did. Like 13 touchdowns, 700 rushing yards for a quarterback is top 10 in a season all time. It's going to be tough for him to top that rushing total. I do think he can do it, but if he doesn't, it'll be because he passed it more. And I just don't know what this offense is going to look like fully yet until after we play the first couple of games. I think we're going to run it just as much as before. But I do think we'll have a little bit better of a ball control passing attack rather than just going deep so much. It does worry me without Horton to take the top off. I really do think we needed him. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with like Huddy. We're going to have to send some guys deep and trailing, so. Robert Keepover, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. $10 super chat from Robert Keepover. Great news is worth a few bucks. Thanks, man. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, didn't I? If you guys want to send a super chat in and ask any question you want or just make a comment of any sort, certainly we can read that out loud. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. It helps tremendously. So, like I say all the time, this is my full-time job, so I treat it as such, which is why I've written so many articles and done a few videos today, and it takes a lot of time to do this stuff, So I try to put out enough content for you guys to have something to come back here every day for. That's the goal, because there was a time when I took a few days off here and there, and I don't do that anymore. I'm way too motivated. So I want to be the guy. I want to be the king of the West Virginia YouTube space. I mean, that's not the loftiest goal in the world, but it is for me. Okay, PA Mountaineer, what's up? He said, I think GG plays better this year, except for when he'll play Penn State. Maybe. We'll see what happens there. I think it's going to be an interesting game. They're really going to be good. I mean, let's not twist it up here. They're the favorite. I don't know about 13 points like Vegas has, but they're the favorite, and they've got a couple guys that worry me, but overall we can hang. And, but if we win, Garrett's going to have a huge part in that. He can't not do anything unless there's a bunch of turnovers on their part. And he can't not just do anything and us win this game. Garrett's going to have to score a couple touchdowns or be a part of a couple, or we're going to have to run the ball really well. But I'll be interested to see what his stat line looks like after the game. I can see it being like, for us to win, he's going to have probably 220 plus in the air, and I'd say 7 eye-popping numbers, but I do think it's what's going to take. And probably 2 to 3 touchdowns, and that's also considering that Jaheim White and CJ are going to rush for close to 200 yards if we're going to win this game, and we're going to have to hold them under probably 25 points-ish, somewhere in that range. So it's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. Abdul Carter, their pass rusher, who played linebacker for them last year, has moved to defensive end this offseason and is a true freak of nature. He's like a Bruce Irvin type, except even more of a freak than even Bruce and Irvin was. He's going to be tough to handle, and I imagine they put him out on Nick Malone or Xavier Bosley, whoever's on that right side, because, running him at Wyatt Milan will be fun to see if they do, but I think, that's going to be a much tougher battle for him. Thanks, Russell. Glad you're here, Paul, and these people in the comments are absolutely the finest fans I've chatted with. Well, great. I'm glad to know that. Yeah, he's really good, PA Mountaineer, no doubt about it. Krista, so would I. I would love to see Rodney G have a great breakout year. Even something to the tune of like 30, 40 balls, something for a kid his age that would look, be really good. But he's got to make a jump. He was really far off last year, guys, as a route runner. And I mean really far off. He's made a lot of significant steps. But we want him to be a focal point of the middle of the field on offense. We need him bad. We need him to be our Presley, right? The guy that for Oklahoma State, Brendan Presley. We need him to be that for us, and hoping he can be. All right, guys. It's 7:20. I'm going to try to get some dinner before it gets too late. Thank you guys for stopping in. As always, it means a lot. Been a good day. Had a lot go on, a lot to reflect on. There's more coming. We've got somebody flipped. I don't know if the name's out there yet. I haven't checked today, but we have flipped a wide receiver. I don't know if it's actually been made public yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But we've got more recruits coming, and then I'll keep track of basketball as well and let you guys know what's up. Make sure you subscribe to all three: football, basketball. Go to the website, sign up on the ESP post, and subscribe to both Mountaineer Paul Talks Football and Hoops from the Hills. And we'll get that Garrett Green signed helmet out to somebody pretty soon. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for stopping in. Curtis 316. I see you in here at the last minute. Hope you all enjoy your evening and be safe out there. Until then, my name is Mountaineer Paul. This episode is over, and I'm out.